Want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Baharaka Kodash. Double honor to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who taught me this truth. I will continue to lead through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Peace and blessings are upon the elect of the nation of Israel, beginning with the 144,000, the men who are, sincerely in the highways and the byways, risking their lives for that penny a day. And of course, to the rest of the 1/3, the large multitude, the men, women, and children who have been chosen from the foundation of the earth to be vessels of mercy, and be delivered from, this kingdom and participate in the first resurrection, of the kingdom, the rebuilding, of the kingdom of heaven. This lesson is going to be based on this article that you see here on screen. It says, "Happy holidays, now go away. Nearly 2/3 of Americans who have taken, the max, the stab and jab, plan to ban those family members who haven't taken it from holiday gatherings." That's 2/3 of Americans, right? So, of course, what this leads into is division within your family. And this is just one front, on which the division will occur, It's going to ultimately come down, to the MOTB. It's going to come down to your quote-unquote religious beliefs, because, brothers in the truth, and sisters as well, especially who have been, part of this faith for a while, you've experienced family members coming against you for the things that you believe. You've experienced being ostracized. One of the young men in our camp here, when he just joined the camp, his family just put him out, like just put him out the house, and he just moved in with two brothers. He lived there for a couple of years, and then, the Lord had it where an apartment literally beside, on the same building, those two brothers, an apartment opened up, and the brother was able to rent that apartment because he got a steady job, so now he has his own apartment. He still, spends a lot of time, with those two brothers that he was originally living with, but the point is, he now has his own place, but he kept his faith, and the Lord kept him afloat, so the same thing is gonna happen when it comes to this this job. There are some people who vehemently oppose those who refuse to get it because they're saying that you're causing death. So let's read on. It says, nearly 2/3 of Americans who have taken the stab will likely ban those family members who haven't taken it from gatherings this upcoming politically heated holiday season, as an expert warns that too many Americans can't separate politics from their personal lives. Right? It said a study by one poll conducted, and it goes back even into precept that Yahweh Shai said, no house divided can stand, and America is a house right now that's divided, on so many different things. Studies show that America is more divided politically than ever before. They said a study by one poll conducted on November 2 surveyed 2,000 Americans in an effort to provide insight on how the C-19 jab has impacted people's relationship with their loved ones ahead of the holidays this year. The staggering findings mirror the national divide that the C-19 pandemic has further exacerbated. Of the 65% surveyed individual who reported being fully stabbed up, 58% said they have cut off family members who have refused the jab. Author and political commentator Andrew Sullivan believes that even those who make it to the dining table on Christmas and Thanksgiving will have divisive debates about politics in the country. There's a lot of what you might call rough and tumble setup rhetoric, and that's healthy. What is not healthy is when that isn't just retained and kept in the political area, but becomes personal, becomes something you bring to the supermarket, you bring to the Thanksgiving table, and that separation between politics and life is what we're losing, and is a terrible thing to lose. Yeah. right? So, of course, there are many scriptures which speak about these things, and which warn you, of some things that will come about because there are divisions in the family. Let's get into it. This is Luke 21. I read from verse 12. All right, and this is speaking about, it's speaking about simultaneously the fall of Jerusalem in 70 AD and also no, right? It says, but before all these things, they shall lay their hands on you and persecute you, delivering you up to the synagogues and into prisons, being brought before kings and rulers for my name's sake. So brothers will be rounded up and thrown into prison, brought before judges and presidents or whatnot. This is a part of it. And it shall turn to you for a testimony. Matter of fact, this happened to the apostles, back in the 9/11 attacks. The apostles were rounded up and brought to court. It says, settle it therefore in your hearts not to meditate what you shall answer for. I will give you a mouth and wisdom, which all your adversaries shall not be able to gainsay nor resist. And here's the point. And ye shall be betrayed both by parents, brethren, kinsfolk, and friends. And some of you shall they cause to be put to death, right? And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. Yeah, right? But they shall not an hair of your head perish. That's for those who have been preserved to live, right? But there are those who have been ordained to be martyrs for Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. It says that in Revelation, those that will be beheaded, for the witness of Yahweh Shai. All right, it said, in your patience possess ye your soul, because you're going to have patience, and if you go into that word patience, it means to suffer, to wait while suffering. So that faith and patience is going to have to kick in, because those persons who are always closest to you, your family members who you grew up with, right, will be divided against you because of the things that you believe. Matthew 10 verse 34, think not that I am come to send peace on earth. This is the Lord speaking. Think not that I am come to send peace on earth. I am not come to send peace, but a sword. For I am come to set a man at variance, meaning at odds, right? One against the other, at variance against his father, and a daughter against her mother, and a daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. And this stab, is one of the hottest divides among people right now. People are very divided on this, right? Because you have some people who wholeheartedly buy into the propaganda, and then there are those of us who, the Lord has pretty much given the common sense to see through it, and those who just genuinely have a mistrust for the government. It says, a man's enemies shall be they of his own household. They who are your family, they're gonna be your enemies, because they're gonna view you as a threat to the family, a political threat, a health threat, and they're gonna separate, right? So it says, he that loveth father or mother more than me is not worthy of me, and he that loveth son or daughter more than me is not worthy of me. Why did he say this? Because you're ultimately gonna have to choose between Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and your family and your kids. That's what it means. And if you can't choose the Lord, you're not worthy of the Lord. And that sounds harsh. The fact that you're going to have to choose between your family and the Lord. The Christians don't teach this. They don't teach that you will have to choose leaving your family when it comes to it, if push comes to shove. We're not saying, once you come to this truth, you just cut off all your family, fudge everybody and just walk away. No. If you can live peaceably with all men, do that. Paul said that. As long as it rests within you and it's possible, live peaceably with all men. But there's going to be certain lines that are drawn in the sand, where you have to make a stand. Right now, we can still, the majority of brothers and sisters can still go to work, But there are companies that are mandating the stab. And that's an example of a line drawn in the sand, where you have to say no, So there's going to come a time where you can't serve God and Mammon. You can't be Clark Kent anymore. You're going to have to put off the Clark Kent costume and go full Superman, right? And let your stance be known, right? It says, and he that taketh not his cross and follow me is not worthy of me. He that findeth the life shall lose it. If you try to preserve this life that you have in this society, you're going to lose it because the whole society going to go anyways, right? He said, and he that loses his life for my sake shall find it. If you were willing to give up this life, you're going to find life more abundant in the kingdom, right? This is Isaiah chapter 59, verse 14. And judgment is turned away backward, and justice standeth afar off. Yet truth is fallen in the land, and equity cannot enter. Because people don't know what is truth anymore, right? The internet is so bombarded with different sources of misinformation, disinformation, and truth. It's hard to sift among them and know what is truth, right? The men and women who are of this truth, we have a spiritual filter through the Spirit, through the Holy Spirit, Bahar Karkadash, which we have received through mercy. We can decipher, right? As Scripture say, the spiritual man discerneth everything, you know, rough paraphrase. So we can discern between what's right and what's wrong. But the majority of people can't, right? The majority of people see propaganda on their mainstream news and see it as facts. They hear their politicians talk and they receive it as facts, you know? But when you bring out something that is contrary to what the mainstream is pushing, then your labels a conspiracy nut, you know, crazy, you know, and a bag of different derogatory terms, right? Yea, truth faileth, and he that departed from evil maketh himself a prey. You've decided, okay, I don't want to take this stab. You are vilified. You are the worst thing ever because you know you're putting everybody at risk. Oh, you're gonna kill people by your logic, your rhetoric is gonna kill people. You not taking this, you're putting people at risk. But they themselves will tell you that it doesn't prevent infection or spread. But hey, and the Lord saw it, and it displeased them that there was no judgment. The Lord is displeased with this earth, and He's gonna cleanse it. Right? We're going to read this as well. Isaiah 5 verse 2. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil. I saw an article, well, the heading for an article. There's this professor of public health up at the University of the West Indies, you know, which is the main university here in Jamaica, one of the two main universities, you know, and the professor pretty much said that natural immunity and natural remedies are not enough. You still need to take the stab. Natural immunity, natural remedies are not enough, right? You still need to take the stab. So they're calling evil good and good evil, right? That put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Woe unto them that are wise in their own eyes and prudent in their own sight. Yeah, the scripture said that the herbs of the earth are given for the healing of man. Roughly paraphrasing, you know. But yet they want you to abandon that, right? And take their miracle, right? We're going to wrap here. Let's just get Micah 7 and just end it there. All right, this is Micah chapter 7 and verse 5. Trust ye not in a friend, right? Unless that friend is a brother, right? Put ye not confidence in a guide. Keep the doors of thy mouth from her that lieth in thy bosom. For the son dishonoured the father riseth, the daughter riseth up against her mother, the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. Man's enemies shall be the men of his own household. Therefore will I look to the Lord. Who? To the Lord. Yahweh Hashem Yahushai Baharaka Kodash is going to be your only hope, right? Not even brothers can save you out of this, because there are going to be times where you're going to be on your own. You're going to have to you're going to have a personal relationship with Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and have that confidence within you, right? That he will deliver you, that he will cover you. I will wait for the God of my salvation. My God will hear me. Rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise, because there are going to be low points for us, when it seems as if we're losing. We're losing right now, right? When I sit in darkness, the Lord shall be a light unto me. I will bear the indignation of the Lord because I have sinned against him. So we have to remember that we are also being punished because we have sinned against the Lord and continue to do so. It is through the mercy of Yahushai that we have received this truth, right? And shame shall Salakia, until he plead my cause and execute judgment for me. He will bring me forth to the light, and I shall behold his righteousness. That's when Wisdom of Solomon chapter 5 is going to be fulfilled, right? When the men and women of the Lord, right, will be glorified and taken up into those chariots and be beheld by their enemies, right? Then she that is that mine enemy shall see it, and shame shall cover her, which said unto me, where is the Lord thy God? Mine eye shall behold her, no shall she be trodden down as the mire of the streets. Right? So that's pretty much what I wanted to bring out. Hopefully this lesson was edifying, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. Shalom until next time.